let's destroy our precious skies, our Mother Earth. You good people better rise up together, join hands with one heart and one mind. Good people better rise up soon, because this planet is mine, and this planet is ours, and we have got to live together. I want my planet back. 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 I want my planet back.
What's up, guys? John the Morgal here. Just gonna do a quick feedback video on the Convex Earth situation. I just got done watching Bob and Jaren's little 35-minute, I guess you could say, recantation of some things that were said on Globebusters yesterday in terms of like endorsements for this whole UFO character and the Convex Earth documentary. Prior to yesterday's show, that was Sunday, April Fool's, we could always just say that show was an April Fool's joke. We can do like SpaceX did and overlay April Fool's onto a bunch of the scenes where we're endorsing this character here. But, you know, I just wanted to get my 2 cents on this because prior to the show, I did begin watching the video and they were going over some pretty standard flat earth proofs that looked real good. You know, they seemed professional. Some of their diagrams were probably a little off. Like one of them they had, and maybe I can pull it up, but they had a diagram of their laser going over the curve, but they had the lasers, instead of being parallel to the ground, they had them pointed at the curve. So, you know, if I were to use a diagram like that, it would be, you know, bashed by flat earthers and globe earthers alike. And so for these guys to come out with such diagrams just for one little tiny example of some things that would get picked apart if I were to do it, that would be the first thing that I notice. But again, what I saw of this video, it seemed like they were legitimate. I did fall asleep watching it, that's not saying anything because I do fall asleep watching videos all the time. I've actually tried to watch the newish Star Wars movie 4 times. I just purchased it legally the other day, and I was I'm still not able to finish the new-ish Star Wars movie. So anyway, you know, I fell asleep watching this the other day, and then we started going over some of the proofs they did on Globebusters. That was April 1st, April Fool's, Easter 2018, and there wasn't anything necessarily wrong with the convex Earth until you get towards the end of it, where they've got sort of a disk in space model with heliocentric values in infinite space and this flat Earth flying around in space. And there were some other issues in the video, but so nothing that would really jump out at you, and frankly most of the stuff they covered for the majority of the video. And there were some other things that were said, like the sun rises and sets in Australia in the same point, which I can't make any sense of that. But other than that, they were making pretty bold claims about flat Earth and apparently backing that up with experiment, and that all seems well and good. Now, of course, later we come to find out that this character, whose initials are UFO, was told by a little green man, allegedly in 2011, on camera, a little alien from Mars who speaks Espanol. Speaking of Espanol, and yeah, that's just a little bit crazy. And this guy is also like breaking plates with his mind and all this stuff. And so, it's just pretty off the wall stuff. But so one of the biggest issue was trying to figure out their motive. Like, why would they apparently spend 7 years making a documentary, starting with experiments based on what a little alien told them in the bushes, just to sully the name of the flat Earth movement that didn't even exist in 2011, right? So it doesn't make any sense unless they are much like SpaceX is able to sort of exclusively go back into YouTube live streams and change things, which nobody else can do, and still have it be called a live stream in terms of the archives. Perhaps other people, such as this character and his group, are able to petition YouTube and get them to say that a video that was made a couple years ago was actually made in 2011, 7 years ago. Now, or maybe maybe the little alien did tell them to do this in 2011, or maybe there are certainly people in the world who know the Earth is flat and have known as much forever. They're just, they didn't tell anyone, and in fact, instead of telling everyone, they told everyone that we all live stuck to the side of a spinning sphere. Now, of course, these same people aren't the ones responsible for it. I don't think, 500 years ago, if that's how long the globe Earth lie has been around, indeed, who knows. But this would be societies, generational secret societies of people who are in the business of deceiving others for their own personal gain, and that would be the only motive necessary, is these secret societies are in the business of deceiving others for their own personal gain, and they've been doing it apparently for generations, for a long time. They're experts at it, and this would probably be no exception. Now, I would say that their goal in this endeavor, whether or not they started in 2011 or whether they have the ability to petition YouTube and change the date of a video that they have archived, by default, everybody that sees these people's work are going to realize that they are charlatans, that they're quacks, frauds. And you can tell by our reaction insofar, in terms of finding this out, is we want to instantly discredit everything they're saying, and we're flat earthers. And frankly, most of the evidence that they came up with in this video was good flat earth evidence, and we're already going through the motions of what we're trained to do, and that is to reject everything they say as bullshit, off the cuff, because we know that they're full of crap. Now, you can multiply that by 10 million, nominally, and that's the reaction you're going to get from Joe Public, who is not a flat earther. And so I think it would be great to have them on the show and get a chance to talk to these guys and find out, what exactly are their plans. Because, see, I suspect that their plans are to discredit flat earth and make a name for themselves at the same time. Now, of course, in terms of discrediting flat earth, they're not going to discredit flat earth to flat earthers. They're doing flat earth experiments and coming back with results that we know to be true. They're discrediting flat earth for the general public. See, this is the arena that we need to be focused on, is what the general public perceives. This is a battle of perception. And I've said this before in different contexts, and I'm not going to bring that old dead horse up, but we really need to be careful about the way flat Earth is perceived in the public eye. And when you have absolute 100% charlatans, quacks, and people making fools of others, um, representing a topic as controversial as flat Earth, I really don't think it gets any more controversial than that. But when you have these people representing flat Earth, it instantly throws it into the mud in terms of the perception of the general public. And that would be even if they were 100% on the ball accurate with everything they did in the documentary. And frankly, they weren't. I could pick apart probably 100 different things in that documentary, but, that's not what we flat earthers really are in the business of doing, is picking apart other flat earthers' arguments. That is a waste of time. It's folly. There's plenty of trolls and globe earthers doing that already. So obviously, any efficient and dedicated flat earther is not going to spend their time uh, battling people who are apparently trying to make flat earth proof out there in the mainstream. But just by these people being the ones to deliver flat earth to the mainstream, if that ends up being the case, so we certainly don't want to help them any, but if these people end up being the pallbearers for flat earth in the mainstream public eye, right, then that's going to instantly sour the taste of flat earth in everyone's minds, except for I'm sorry, but except for the absolute kooks. Nobody in their right mind is going to take these people seriously, and it's just going to, if these people are allowed to succeed, which it may already be too late, I don't know, because it's not, YouTube is in very much control of what videos do well and which videos don't. And if they decide that they want something to do well, then it will. I really don't think it's so much up to the people. I just really don't think that. Um, So if they decide they want it to do well, then it will do well. Now, here's another interesting thing. It makes you wonder of how accurate is what they're saying. Because from this, if you want to humor this thread that I'm hypothesizing here, it would make a lot more sense for them to be dead on the balls accurate in what they're presenting, because then it would make the truth seem even more it would make the truth, the absolute truth, seem to be the last thing you would expect. Now, I don't see that as being the case because, again, they have this asteroid flying around in space with literally a pear-shaped map over top of it. Um, they've got the sun as, distant in space. They show the flat Earth to be spinning in one of their animations, although I'm not sure that's what their claim is. But regardless, at the end of the day, it's almost as if, I don't know if we should touch this with a 10-foot pole other than to distance ourselves from the other stuff that these guys have apparently done. Because if their flat earth proofs are sound and what they're doing is verifiable, which, we know that it is, at least in practice. I don't know if their technical details are accurate, but certainly in general terms, what they're doing is sound. The Earth is flat; it's not spinning, so it's not a ball. It's not a spinning ball at all. But in terms of their reputation with all this other stuff, talking to aliens, breaking plates with their minds, it instantly loses all credibility for any message that they touch with a 10-foot pole. And so by them going at flat earth, it tells me that they are trying to discredit it in terms of the arena of the public eye. And from that perspective, it makes sense. But at the end of the day, if they're at least getting good flat earth proofs out there to more people, then, that's great. I don't think we should necessarily chastise them for that. Again, I think a lot of their experiments were sound or appeared to be sound. At least we know the results are. And so can we really, chastise them for being them? Because that's what it comes down to. Does all of our work in the past necessarily reflect on what we say today? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Was there a lot of artistic liberty went into their work before, and now they've had sort of an epiphany, and they want to shoot straight and fly straight, and so they're attacking flat Earth with everything they've got? Maybe they do have means that we don't, or others don't. Maybe they have been looking at it since 2011. Maybe an alien told them to do it. I don't know. But anyway, guys, this has been John the Morgile. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to support this channel, you can do so on Patreon for as little as $1 a month at www.patreon.com/themorgile. Or you can support this channel direct through PayPal to www.paypal.me/themorgile. Anyway, God bless y'all. As always, spread the word, spread the world, and peace.